myself, Dr. Priti Jagwani from Department of Computer Science, Arabhat College, University of Delhi. So, till this point in this course of computer networks, we have looked into all the 7 layers of ISO OSI model in a detailed, we can say greater length of details. We started from the first one, which is the physical layer, and till application layer we have completed. Now the question comes up, what next in this course of computer networks. So our today's topic is about kind of some miscellaneous agendas, some miscellaneous topics which are very important as far as computer network is concerned, and they are definitely needed to be covered. So what miscellaneous topics we are going to cover in this particular lecture? We will be looking into some of the nuances of network security. Then authentication in computer networks is obviously kind of we can say related to this network security in one way or the other. We have another kind of technology which is firewall, again related to the security, and then one technology definitely which is taking a boom nowadays, which is kind of Bluetooth. So obviously we need to look into some of the details of the Bluetooth also. So let us begin with network security. So network security is actually a functionality that protect networks and the data from unauthorized access, from misuses, from cyber attacks or any other kind of attack. So your network security ensures that systems remains confidential, available, trustworthy across the whole kind of digital environment. So prevention of unauthorized access and cyber threats, preventing data integrity, confidentiality and availability is actually kind of or these terms actually falls under the umbrella of your network security. In this network security, one needs to ensure the safe communication and reliable network operations also, and we may use layered security control across various devices, users and systems. So why we are talking about layered security? Because our whole computer network or the modeling of a network goes in a layered manner. Now we need to see that how this computer security or network security actually works. So network security works through multiple protective layers that control access both at the network edge and inside the environment, and each layer of network security ensures only authorized users can access the resources and non-authorized will not are not allowed to access any type of data or resources, and obviously these unauthorized users or threats should be definitely blocked. So the core idea, if we talk about, is to protect the large amount of data using various layers of defense that enforces the rules before any kind of action is allowed. So if we talk about network security, or if we talk about the layers of network security, so here we can see a figure which talks about how this network security works. So in this if we want to make network security a complete package, we have physical network security, we have administrative network security, and we also have technical network security, and all these 3 domains or all these 3 we can say dimensions of network security works differently. So these layers or these dimensions, the first one we talk about is physical network security. So physical network security is you need to protect your network hardware, your servers or your devices from being physically attacked or being kind of physically accessed by unauthorized users or unauthorized individuals. So physical security actually prevents unauthorized individuals from physically accessing your network machinery, be it hardware, any type of server devices, etc. Also because in order to maintain this physical network security, one can have access cards, one can use biometrics, one can use CCTV and locked server rooms. Obviously, these are the ways to maintain kind of physical network security. Then routers, switches, cables and data centers are needed to be protected. Also tampering, device theft and hardware level attacks are needed to be kind of we can say prevented. If we want to make our physical network security foolproof, we need to kind of we can say prevent the whole system, the whole physical system is needed to be prevented from unauthorized individual. So, be it a server room or be it a single cable or be it a complete data center, all these should be kind of secured physically. So, that is the first layer of your network security, which is physical network security. Moving in this line, we have technical network security. So, technical network security, when I am talking about, that means protecting the data while it is being stored, it is being processed or it is being kind of communicated or transmitted across the network, and this is more related to your software based controls. So, hardware based controls are related to your physical security, which we have just seen, while your technical network security is related to your software based controls. So, software based controls or technical network security, that secures the data which is being transmitted, that means the data which is already in motion, or maybe it is stored somewhere, that means it is at the rest. Data has to be secured. Unauthorized access, malicious activities are needed to be blocked in order to provide technical security. And how are we going to provide technical security? So, when we study about this physical security, we say that these server room needs to be locked and all these your hardware machinery is needed to be prevented from the physical attack. So, here if we talk about how are we going to provide technical network security, this may include firewalls, this may include encryption, antivirus and intrusion detection and so many other things which are more related to software side. So, this was the second layer, which was the technical network security. Moving further, we have administrative network security. So, administrative network security actually is about the policies, permissions and procedures which are given in order to access the network or in order to access the data. So, administrative security actually defines policies, user permissions and procedures that control how the network is accessed and managed. Basically, it manages authentication, authorization and user roles, and it also ensures the proper configuration, monitoring and compliances of complete network or whole network. It enforces security policies and access controls. So, this was about your network security in a nutshell. So, three layers of network security. One is physical network security, the technical network security and the administrative network security. Moving further, we need to look into a topic which is kind of very closely related to this network security, is authentication in computer network. So, authentication, when we talk about, actually it is the process of verifying the identity of a user or information. So, user authentication is the process when the identity of a user is being verified, and this is being done when your user is logging into your system. Now, when we say what are the methods which are available for this authentication, so there can be kind of we can say three ways or three major categories. One is the passwords, another one is the physical identification and the third one is the biometrics. So, operating systems generally identify or generally authenticate user using these following three ways, and authentication is the core we can say era of core area of operating systems. So, and operating systems, they authenticate users using either passwords, physical identification, or biometrics. So, password, as you all are aware, it is the most common authentication method. Each user is having a username and a password which is being stored inside the system, and during the login these credentials are being entered, compared with the stored ones. If they match, the access is granted. If they match, if they do not match, access is denied. When I am talking about physical identification, this method uses machine readable badges, it could be a card or it could be any other smart card for authentication, and it is actually often combined with a password, and the example here is ATMs. So, at ATMs we have our own kind of ATM card or debit card, and the password which we need to kind of enter over there. So, basically a combination of a password with a physical identification way enhances the security by requiring both the factors. Smart cards can store the password internally, reducing the need to save them on the system. However, losing the card possesses a security threat, because the password is stored internally onto that. Moving further, the third way, the first one was the passwords, the next is the physical identification, and the third one is the biometric. So, this method of authentication is based on unique biological characteristics of each user. What all can include in this unique biological characteristics: fingerprints, voice recognition, it could be face recognition, or even kind of your eyes or a retina. Facial characteristics could be there, because humans are differentiated on the basis of facial characteristics, for example eyes, eyebrows, chin shape, everything. So, facial characteristics can also define a base for biometrics. Then fingerprints, obviously these fingerprints are believed to be unique across the entire human population. So, fingerprint is one of the most kind of widely used biometric way, and this you have also seen in various your Aadhaar and so many other things also. Or even in in examination systems nowadays, these biometrics of fingerprints are being used, and also the retinal pattern which is concerned with the detailed structure of the eye, or it could be hand geometry. So, hand geometry systems identify features of the hands, includes shape, length, width of the fingers. So, all these kind of, or even voice recognition, if I am talking about, records the frequency pattern of the voice of an individual speaker, which is going to be kind of, we can say, different from all others. So, all these includes your these unique biological characteristics which defines the foundation for biometric authentication, be it facial characteristics, fingerprints, hand geometry, retinal pattern or voice. But out of all these biological characteristics, retinal pattern and fingerprints are most commonly used. So, if we talk about type of authentication, there can be kind of two types of authentication. One is a single factor authentication and another one is a two factor authentication. So, single factor authentication is kind of, we can say, the legacy method, simplest and the earliest, in which a user is providing a username and a password to gain the access, and if it is correct, access is given; if it is not correct, both, then the access is denied. Simple and straightforward to use, low cost implementation, and requires minimal technical knowledge on the user side or from the user. But disadvantages of single factor authentication: it is not highly secure, and also the protection level is much lower. Now, it is not secure because the protection depends entirely on the strength of user's password, or these users' passwords are kind of we can say these are vulnerable for hacking. Coming to from single factor authentication, now we need to look into the two factor authentication. In this two factor authentication, the user has to give a username, password, and some other information also. What kind of other information I am talking about? So, some of the two factor authentication systems could be wireless tokens or virtual tokens or even an OTP. So, there are systems um, in order to log in into those systems, you need to kind of feed in your username, password, and then there is an OTP. This is nowadays kind of normal, very commonly used in banks and various other systems. So, this is what your two factor authentication is. So, one factor is your username, password, another factor is your OTP. This obviously provides a stronger security than single factor authentication by requiring an additional verification step in the form of OTP. And obviously, it is a stronger mechanism of protecting against password theft, reducing risk of fraud and unauthorized access. It increases users' confidence and trust into the system, while the disadvantage is it is obviously a little more time consuming as compared to your single factor authentication. So, we have looked into one factor authentication and two factor authentication, which are the types of authentication. In the inception of this particular lecture, we looked into what are the topics which we are going to look into. Network security we have seen, then authentication we have completed. Now, next in the agenda is the firewall, which is also a very important we can say topic in order to understand if we need to talk about the miscellaneous topics in computer network. So, firewall actually a network security mechanism which can be available either as a software or as a hardware. Now, what is the job of this firewall? It monitors and controls the incoming as well as the outgoing traffic based on the predefined rules. So, when someone, your system administrator configures the firewall, it will define some of the predefined rules that okay, the traffic from these websites or from these URLs is allowed, and whatever traffic is going out of the kind of system or your network, that can be in the form of these files. These files cannot be shared outside the system, outside the network. So, on the basis of these kind of predefined rules, your firewall, which is actually either a hardware or a software, is going to monitor and control the all incoming as well as the outgoing traffic. So, basically it is a security guard which filters the data packets to either accept, or it could reject, or it could drop. So, when it accepts, that means it is allowing that data packet, it is allowing that traffic. If it is rejecting, that means it is blocking with an error response, and if it is dropping, that means if it is blocking silently without a response. So, in order to look into that how this firewall is actually kind of working, we can look into this figure. So, on one side of this we have our internal network, then we have a firewall in between, and on the other side we have internet. So, whatever traffic is coming from the internal that wide area network, from the internet to the internal your LAN, or whatever traffic is going the other way, both are being monitored and controlled with the help of these firewalls. And it is actually a very common practice which is used nowadays, that these we can say these firewalls are being used in day-to-day functioning of these various companies. Now, this firewall actually inspects all the incoming and outgoing traffic and decides whether to allow it, whether to block it with a response, or block it silently. All the packets which are entering or leaving the network must first pass through this firewall, Firewall examine these packets against the predefined security rules which we just talked about, which are set by the organization, and then it will take the relevant action. And these predefined security rules are actually different for different organizations. Then if a packet matches the safe rules, it is allowed. If it is suspicious, then it is blacklisted, or if it contains malicious content, it is blocked. Blocked or unusual traffic is recorded in the logs, and real time alerts may be generated for serious threats, and recording these logs is going to help in order to further define or further refine the these predefined set of rules. Now it is actually not possible practically to define every rule. So the firewall applies a default policy whether to accept, reject or drop for this particular kind of data. Setting the default policy to drop or reject is considered the best practice in order to prevent the unauthorized access. So when we look into the importance of firewalls, we can say it is the first line of defense in the cyber security, acting as a security barrier or acting as a security guard between the internal system and your external networks. So all traffic is going through a single checkpoint where data packets are monitored, these are filtered, and these are either allowed or blocked based on the predefined rules. Now these firewalls are actually an important component as far as security dimension is concerned, because they prevent unauthorized access. They also block malicious traffic, harmful data such as viruses, some phishing attempts, or even denial of service DOS attacks are stopped before even reaching the system. This also protects sensitive information from either the theft or even the accidental leaks, because every outgoing packet is also is monitored, and if it is in the under the safe rules, then it is allowed to leave the system, leave the internal network, otherwise it will not be allowed. Obviously it also enforces policies. One way is of using these firewalls could be parental control, or workplace restrictions are being used using these firewalls. Government filtering is also something which takes place using this firewall thing. Then it also mitigates the insider risk that detects suspicious applications or data exfiltration attempts from within the network. And by combining prevention, monitoring and control, these firewalls provides customizable and comprehensive protections against both the external threats as well as the internal threats. So in this lecture till this point we have looked into the computer security, then we looked into the authentication thing, and we have also looked into firewall. Then let us move on quickly to the technology which is named as Bluetooth, used for short range wireless voice and data communication. It is a technology which is used in WPAN, which is wireless personal area network, and it is used for data communications over we can say smaller distances. It operates within the unlicensed business, scientific and clinical ISM bands from 2.4 gigahertz to 2.485 gigahertz. Normally the range of the Bluetooth is up to 10 meter. Depending upon the version, it presents the information up to at least 1 Mbps or 3 Mbps. That actually depends on the version of the Bluetooth. Through which particular method the data is being spread is frequency hopping unfold spectrum, which is FHSS. And a Bluetooth network, when we talk about it, is that network is called piconet and a group of interconnected piconets is called scatternet. And with the help of this piconets and scatternet, the Bluetooth technology, which is actually a wireless technology, lets the devices like your phones, tablets and headphones connect to each other without being kind of physically connected, and share the information without the cables. So, your Bluetooth simply follows the principle of transmitting and receiving data using radio waves. Your Bluetooth devices can be paired with each other, but the devices should be within the estimated communication range to connect, which is normally it is kind of 10 meters. So, when two devices start to share the data, they form a network called piconet, which can further accommodate more than some more devices also. So, basically a wireless low cost short distance radio communication standard, quite flexible and robust, and the basic architecture unit of Bluetooth when we talk about is nothing but the piconet. So, in this lecture, which is related to the miscellaneous but important topics of this computer networks, we talked about firewall, we looked into Bluetooth, computer authentication, and we also looked into various layers of network security. Here is a list of references which is being used for the preparation of lecture. I hope you have enjoyed this one. I will see you in the next. Till then, take care. Goodbye.